Good evening, my friends. This is our 33rd day for the quarantine meditation, and I really enjoy that every day I can be here to share with you. And frankly, for these 33 days, I have been facing an empty room and keep talking, So I think this is probably from the teaching experience from these years that unbelievable I can talk to the empty space, every day. But well, because you are in my mind, and I feel like I'm talking to you too. Some people even suggest I should use Zoom so that I can see you. But I think for this is more like a meditation, and lots of time it's kind of quiet, and also I try to share with you lots of information. So maybe some other days we will figure out more like a classroom for people join the Zoom, and then we can have some question. We can, you can ask question and I can answer, but we still need to figure out how can we do it. But I promised you I will still come to the Hasutra, the teaching. We still have many dates. I think that or the Massachusetts looks like it's not going to reopen until the middle of May, and we have gone through so much, like 1 month. So impermanence, everything will pass. We're going to come with good time too. And so today I will continue to answer the question from the students. And as I mentioned that I will take a longer time to answer the question, I try to use this question to bring kind of my background, information on my background, my own experience as a nun's life, and also some Buddhist teaching as well. So you can tell those questions, like today we're probably going to cover how Buddhism will see homosexuality, and then how Buddhism view about the women's in Buddhism issue. So, and then later we get to a more kind of dry philosophical issue later at the end. But still, at the very beginning of this section, always practice what we have learned. And now today, I want to tell you that for the past month, I've been share with you that this in Tian Tai is called, 止观. 止 means stop, stillness, stop. And that take from the meaning of samadha, means kind of a really single-minded, concentration. So everything is everything is stop, the mind, So already subdue our mind. And then through the anapana, that means breathing, we can get into the samadha. And then the second step is, in Buddhism say if your mind is like a stop there, we call dhyana, but kind of stillness, stop. This is not the end of Buddhism either. The purpose, not the end, the goal for Buddhism. it need to be also, not just concentration, need to be bring the wisdom. So bring wisdom, then, and for the beginners class, to train the wisdom is to focus contemplation on our sensation. This is for beginners class. So it's called insight meditation. Most people call insight meditation. But some scholars just use the word as, contemplation. So, come to Pali or Sanskrit called vipassana. Vipassana means spatial seeing something spatially, not especially not use your organ eyes to see or your ordinary mind or sense organ to reach out or see or contact. Okay, so it's beyond your sense organ. So that is called. And then in English we cannot find the words. So finally we call, it's an insight. So you will be concentration and then insight. And some people translate stop or stillness and then the insight. But as I mentioned that one of the scholars, Dan Stevenson, he, I think he retired now. Dan retired now. So he taught at Kansas University. So he spoke on this 10 types meditation. It's called calming and contemplation. And I find that it's kind of a CC. We call it M. So I like to call it CNC meditation, like an MMM meditation. And this is going to be more like a pre-announcement. In the future, for the Woodenfish project, I would like to have a program called M and what is that? Mediation and meditation. MMM, CNC. So it will be easy to remember. To the CNC. So calming and contemplation meditation basically is what we have been shared with you for the past 1 month. Like through this breathing meditation, you attend the samatha, calming, stop, stealing. It's a stillness. Yeah. So it's called calming. And then inside meditation, we call contemplation. So from calming, you receive the concentration, and from contemplation, you gain the wisdom. So in Buddhism, concentration and wisdom is for us like two wings, so you can fly very high. And so it's very for us. And of course, as I mentioned that, once when you become skillful in the breathing, if you go to 10 days meditation, intensive meditation, and you do it right way, I can guarantee you can test of this samatha. Really, like, you enjoy, and then so peaceful and serene and stillness and a lot of joy too. And this is what we call the breathing, through the breathing. And from the vipassana, we have been, share with you, like scan the sensation on your body or make an analysis, emptiness analysis on your sensation. Somehow you can not really through eyes, but you sense all the function. Yeah. And it's also very amazing experience as well. So, so when you come to the turn, like a samatha, concentration, and then vipassana, insight meditation, insight, then from your meditation experience, and you find, wow, the Buddha, what I said, is true. If you follow the method, and then you can get to that state, you have a joy and happiness, and then have the confidence. Okay, so remember it for the past 30 days, 1 month, we just share with you this kind of techniques and skills. It's not really, past the experience for you, not unless you practice. Okay, so so that's why we want you to practice, even though, we kind of want to answer Q&A, but I still want you to review for the meditation. If you pick up this breathing in, breathing out, and you find, at least if you do not have that kind of experience, concentration experience, but you will find what? In your daily life, once when you close your eye and then put your mind on your nostril, remember I told you here is your meditation hall. And suddenly, you disconnect from the outside world and you live inside, what we call the inner peace. And then you close your eye, immediately you can get into what we call the concentration for 30 seconds, for 1 minute, no problem. And that is the, great achievement that, at least for the beginners, every time you feel like, okay, I'm so stressful and I'm so anxious, what you can do? Okay, close your eye, come to your meditation on your meditation hall on your body, and breathing in and breathing out. The longer you can breathing in and breathing out, you can concentrate. That means you can meditate. You don't even need a meditation hall. You don't even need a cushion at all. And that is what we call, the living, living at the present. But not only that, living in the present, also you need to have a Buddhist philosophy to support it. What does it mean? That means the Buddhism told us everything is all interdependent. We have a collective karma, collective action, collective, concept, collective consciousness, in our society. And also understand that if you have the course, and then you have the conditions, course and conditions, and good, and then you're going to have a good result. But of course, we also affect by the collective environment. So what you can do, then, you just try your best, efforts, and let the course, let the nature take the course. Basically, that's what I mean. So that, then, what can you do? Don't put too much the desire on it. Just, follow the process, or even set with the process. Enjoy the process, what I try to say. And for me, frankly, every, year, when it comes to my Buddha's birthday, not Buddha birthday, my birthday, I'm sorry, the birthday, and then everybody will ask you to make a wish. And very interesting, I feel like I have no wish to make. Why? Because I feel like, I think I have been very grateful every day. I feel like I have everything, even though I don't have house, I don't have car, but I have everything. And the secondly, I also feel, I'm just doing things when the conditions are here. If the conditions are here, I have a project together, program together. Whether you work or not, that's not, you should worry about it. For example, in March, we prepare for retreat, 2 weeks retreat. And then because of this coronavirus, it was canceled. Then it canceled. But we got stuck here. But we have a good place. We self-isolated. And, for individual, for myself, I feel very lucky, I was able to have a self-isolation here. And then later I found out that we can do this online meditation. So I feel like, good, at least I can do something. So, there was no stress or no anxiety at all. And living at the present, just see what. So, as I mentioned, that we also need to have the philosophy, life philosophy, to reduce the stress and anxiety. It's not just closed eyes, okay? Okay, now it's 17 minutes, and I still like to review what we have learned, what we call the calming and contemplation meditation. So basically, it's breathing, meditation, and then the sensation and meditation. Okay. So again, body, breath, and mind, and body from your leg, cross your leg, full lotus position, half lotus position, it doesn't matter. And the back upright, your spine, right? But relax. And then both your hands, either left palms on the top or right palms on the top. Your thumb just slightly touch. And then, circulate it, relax your muscle and joint. In the 10 time meditation manual say you can do it, back and forth up to 7 to 8 times. So relax your muscle, joints, and then make sure you sit stable. Okay, good. Open your shoulder, shrug, back and forth. And then pull in your chin, not up. And now this time, try to breathe out the kind of murky breath, impure breath, which conjects in your body. Okay, so 3 times. Then immediately close your mouth to keep the clean air inside your body. And now, put your tip slightly touched behind your upper teeth and eyes closed. So now, 7-step Vairochana, feet, back, hands, shoulders, chin, tongue, and eyes. The body posture, its a principle is upright and relaxed. Do not lean on anything or lean on right or left. The muscle need to be relaxed. Make sure no muscle is tense. Now, let's do breathing. Okay, breathing. Breathing out. You can do the counting from 1 to 10. Only count. When you're breathing in, breathing out, you count 1. Only counting when you are breathing out. Remember, your mind is in your nostril. If you already very skillful, concentrate, no problem. Your mind is not going away. Then just follow the breathing. You don't have to count. The counting is to help you to be concentrated. Now when you're breathing in, follow your breathing in, then aware, noticed that the air is coming through your nostril. 知息入, knowing the breath come in. The breath goes out. 知息出. And now you know that your breath is full of you, your body. 知息变身. Remember, there was a 4 signs of breathing. You should not make a noise, and no panting or gasping. And the breath is longer, subtle, finer, is better. You don't want to manipulate it or control your breath, breathing, but just observe. As long as time goes, then the breath will become finer, subtle. It's not deep breathing, but it's observing breathing. If you find it very difficult to have a concentration, the third technique is breathing in, breathing out. Try to observing is a transition stop between your breathing in and breathing out. Before you breathing out, that breaking second, the moment. Let's start the Metta meditation. Metta means kindness. Let's send loving kindness thought and prayer to ourselves and to people we know, people we do not know, even extend to all the sentient beings in this universe. May I be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my spouse, partner, and children be free from the infection of coronavirus, other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my parents and my children, my brothers and sisters be free from infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May teachers and students be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my bosses, employees, and colleagues be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all my friends and neighbors be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the people in this country be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the people in this world be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the sentient beings in this universe free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, free from suffering, and happy. May all the doctors, nurses, caretakers, medical personnel be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. We thank their efforts and their risk, their life to save others' lives. May all the political leaders be free from the effect of coronavirus and other disease, free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, and free from suffering, and be well and healthy. We pray for them to have wisdom and sense of humanity to adopt the proper measure to save more lives and create harmonious society and peaceful world. May the people who die of coronavirus and other disease rest in peace and be reborn in a better, happier, and healthier realms. May all the people who got affected coronavirus and other diseases, free from suffering, and will gain speedy recovery and be well and healthy. Now let's do some special prayer for particular individual. I would like to transfer from this month meditation to many of anonymous heroes who are work to fight with this coronavirus and to people's life. Amitofo. Now wrapping our hands, cover our eyes and forehead and scalp and ear, your back, shoulder, arms, your back, thigh, knees, and feet. Okay. Good. Yeah. I hope that you become more skillful and enjoy the meditation. Now, let me continue to answer our dear students' question. Somehow in the past 2 days, I already answered more like a personal question. And then now today, let's come to social issues. The first question, Samuel asked a question. How does Zen Buddhism currently consider gay, lesbian, trans, queer people? Okay. I think the answer is going to be various. It's not like I can represent all the Buddhist community the same answer. If you go to different monks and nuns, they will tell you the different story, answer, and even to do with countries. So let me tell you that, okay, the first one, I remember that was even before 10 years ago. I think that was around, 2002, 2003, and I was invited to Malaysia to give a lecture, at the newspaper, big newspaper agents. And that was a pack of people, mostly the overseas Chinese in Malaysia. And they did ask me a question about, the gay issue. And I will tell you later about what I answered, but one of the audience, raised the hand and asked, I just cannot stand that to see two men or two women, they kissing each other. So then my answer was, I said, you cannot stand to see two men or two women kissing each other. For a monastic, for a monk, as a nun, let me tell you, I cannot stand to see one man or one woman kissing in the public. So what I mean is, I told him that we cannot deny something, the phenomena, just because we don't like it. So about this gay issue, if you go to find in the Buddhist the doctrine, I don't think that there is very clear to say that, men cannot love men and women cannot love women. Okay, because in Christians' teaching that, the God created one man and women, and then, kind of a, unity. But in Buddhism, we don't have such, teaching. I would rather say that in Buddhism, as everybody knows, that we talk about reincarnation. So that means that this is not just our only life. And since we have a reincarnation, that means what? I could be a man. Now I'm a woman in this life, and I could be a man in my previous life, or women in many of the life, and to be a man in many of the life, or even to be an animal. So in Buddhism, believe that we have this called 习气, the habitual karma. That means, like yesterday, if I have this kind of a habit in my past, I kind of carry to this present moment. And that means if I was a man in my previous life, then I still carry this man habitual karma to this life. So for me, in my karma, I have that kind of a muscular or a feminine, karma or habits. I think very much correspondent to, science, medical science that, no matter you are men or women, you always have both, female hormone or male's hormone. As a means that we have both. And from use Buddhist term that we have this, the in our, in our body or in our consciousness. If you see two men attract each other, and could be one or more feminine, and the other one tend to be more, muscular, and they attract each other, even though the outside they are, all men or women. And that is what, the Buddhism can explain this situation. And, but I think it's very important. It's, I think the humans relationship, you cannot cut into just a kind of one single section. Because one of the arguments that people use homosexuality was, is that, if we allow this to happen, then the human being is going to become, extinguished. That means no more human being. But I don't think that's really true, because if we look at the relationship, maybe in the ancient time, more focus on the mother, so you can tell that, most of the animals follow the mother. And later, in our history, we also have polygamy. That means one man and several wives, or maybe also one woman and several male partner as well. And people tend to kind of don't want to get married too early, and don't want to have too many children. Then it's not going to become ethical, that people think that they are the course to become the reason we have a population reduced. So we cannot blame the gay people, say, well, you are not going to produce a child. And also that we see the couple, they raise, raise the kids together as long as they can provide them, the good life, good education. Of course, the people also ask that, how about we're supposed to have a, mother and father. But if you are born in, like my grandfather has 2 wives, 2 grandmother. I'm not just have one grandma. Rich people always have multiple wives in Chinese society. So it's a very, and also people got divorced, or keep single, and not to mention the moms, we keep a celibacy. We don't produce children either. So what I try is, for the product, the population. That's, in our society, we have different kinds of conditions. And that gay people should take this responsibility for not to produce the population, the what we call the offspring. And as you know that, last year that Taiwan as a democrat country and just passed the same-sex marriage. So that means the people, the gay people in Taiwan, they can officially to get married. But there was a big opposition in society. Frankly, it's also not just considered as kind of a minor voice at all, especially from old generation, And so, if you go to Asia country, I believe that if you go to a lot of Buddhist Asia country, you will find the voice about, to support gay marriage or homosexuality. Homosexuality. I mean, it's not going to be very popular. The past 10 years when I was in mainland China, most of the monks I met, basically, the article, they say something, they against it. Even though they do not say the reason, or they go back to analysis that the Buddhist teaching, but they just basically against it. So maybe you can put the word as more like a conservative approach. If you come to Taiwan, then I don't think that many of the monks and nuns will come and say, yes, we support the gay marriage. Monks and nuns probably they kind of keep silent. And, maybe some you will also hear that they opposed. And in Taiwan, what I try to say to the Taiwan's audience is, one, in Chinese history, even back to the 1st century before Common Era, we have the story, okay, and then later come up with a famous idiom, to refer to gay culture. So that was, before the 1st century, before the Common Era, that our emperor in Han Dynasty, Han ID, and he favored a beautiful man, and so they were sleep together, and you know what, the emperor always have to go up early and to audience. And this day that, his male lover still sleep on his arm. And so he didn't want to wake him up. So what he do? He just cut off his sleeve, and then leave his cloth sleeve there, and then go to the audience. So in Chinese, we have this idiom called someone has the habit of sleeve cutting, 断袖之癖. So what does it mean? That means even before, the common era, the first BC, that China kind of already aware about those culture, aware about those culture, but there wasn't that much about blend or kind of a despite at all. I don't see that when people use that, that term. Maybe some people disagree. So, but however, China still, or, also the Chinese culture, both mainland China and Taiwan, still considered somehow conservative. So what I want to, I myself, I see, these people are my dear friend and my dear students. I have no problem. Sorry, I don't know why it's still, okay, sorry. When I, study at Yale in university, I have many gay friends, no problem. And now, lots of students, problem at all. I just have to, I feel like they are human beings, great human beings. So they treated equally. But what I'm trying to say, give the advice to my young friends, I'm sorry, this one need to be. And, if you come to Asian country, you need to be more aware about your surrounding. That is, sometimes my advice to our students, especially from America, think that the whole think like you. So take the value you recognize in United States, and take that kind of value and attitude and to the other country, like to Asia country, to even Middle East country. That could be very could cause some inconvenience or even dangerous. So that's the only what I try to tell my young students. Say, well, just need to be open-minded and respect local culture, And so, and if you ask how will be exactly the Buddhism toward this to the gay, it's only in monastic Vinaya. Okay, in the Vinaya, that means the precept for monastic, that it prohibits to have sexual activity, no matter it's opposite or it's a same sex. Okay, so that is what I have to share with you. Okay, well, anyway, let me answer you the other question tomorrow. Okay. I'll see you 1 o'clock at the same time. Thank you.